Am I the asshole for telling my parents they need to find an alternative solution for long-term care for my disabled siblings? Because I will not be the solution. I, 19M, have two older siblings who are both born with severe disabilities. Their disabilities are related to an inheritable gene that both my parents were carriers of, hence both of them having these disabilities. They had me so their disabled children would have someone to take care of them when they were gone. It was a gamble. I could have been disabled like my siblings and had an even higher chance at also being a carrier for the gene. My parents didn't look into that. They initially planned to adopt, but they were rejected because of my siblings being disabled, and it was decided they could not adequately care for another child on top of them. So they gave in and had me. Once they knew I wasn't disabled at birth, they no longer cared about my future because it was set in stone in their minds. I was raised to take over the care of both my siblings. I was taught what to do, how to do it, and my parents interfered in my success. They'd pull me out of school few enough times to cause trouble, but timed just right to throw me off and leave me behind at school. Their aim was for me to do badly enough to either drop out or not graduate high school, so then I wouldn't leave for college. But I worked my ass off to do the best I could. My grades weren't great graduating, but they were the best they could be given the circumstances. I actually only learned about my risk of being a carrier in my final 2 months of high school. My parents didn't care because they never planned for me to marry or have kids because, again, I was supposed to be a carer the rest of my life. I moved out of my parents' house after high school and I'm in college now. My parents hate it. I'm mostly estranged and have not told them yet, but I got checked for the gene because I always wanted kids, but I knew I didn't want to risk having children with the same disabilities as my siblings. I'm not a carrier, which is rare apparently, but such a relief. But it made me more angry at my parents for not caring. They leave voicemails pretty frequently, shaming me for going to college and moving away and not supporting them or my siblings. They talked about how out of practice I will be. So I decided to call them, and over the phone I told them I was not coming back and that they need to find an alternative solution for long-term care for my siblings because I won't be the solution. I won't sacrifice the rest of my life to care for them. My parents told me that was disgusting to say, and I should love my siblings more than enough to care for them, especially when they are the highest risk adults. Am I the asshole? Relevant comments. Not the asshole, block their numbers or change yours and go out and live your life. Your siblings are not your problem or responsibility. Your parents are the ones sick in their head for having you solely as a slave to their other kids. Not the asshole. You don't owe it to your parents nor your siblings to throw away your future for the sake of caring for them. It's a difficult situation and a sad one, but you have only one life and you should live it the way you see fit. If your parents have been aware of being carriers for the gene after their first child, it has been incredibly reckless and irresponsible of them to have more children. My siblings are very close in age, less than a year apart, so I think they found out while my mom was pregnant with their second child. But they knew the risk early. Then when they had two, they wanted a healthy kid to take care of them, and they got lucky with me, or they thought they did. You're no the asshole. Your parents are 100% in the wrong. They had me so their disabled children would have someone to take care of them when they were gone. Major assholes. Their aim was for me to do badly enough to either drop out or not graduate high school, so then I wouldn't leave for college. Despicable assholes. They leave voicemails pretty frequently, shaming me for going to college and moving away and not supporting them or my siblings. Super king of mega assholes. Despite their intentions, you were not put on this earth to assume responsibility for their responsibilities. They need to start looking into group home as soon as possible. Not the asshole. Parents like yours seem to forget that you are your own person, not just some tool to do their bidding. It's not on you to care for the children that they had before you, especially when they knew that there was a risk involved. And the fact that they were going to adopt someone just so that they could spend their lives taking care of someone else, it speaks volumes for how selfish your parents truly are. Not the asshole at all. Forgive the crassness of this comment, But they could have saved every dollar they spent raising you to invest or pay for insurance so that when they pass, there's a plan to care for your siblings. They figured birthing a slave would be cheaper. You are a person, not a plan. They owed you support, barely provided that, and sabotaged you along the way. You don't owe them or your siblings anything. You are entitled to your own existence and are not required to shoulder their burdens. Am I the asshole for not paying for my daughter's college after she and her father picked her school? Long post alert. I am not a U.S. citizen. Neither is my daughter, nor do I live in the U.S. Instead, I live and work in a small island in the Caribbean. My daughter's father, however, is a white American who lives in the U.S. He is 20 years older than me. After a brief relationship, which ended because I thought that I was drugged by him, I found out that I was pregnant as a result of that incident. When I told that I was pregnant, I had already ended our relationship, but he was ready. He suggested that I leave my job, I was a teacher, because he had already gotten me another teaching job at an international school in the DR, an apartment, and I could drive one of his cars. We could just rekindle our relationship and be a family because we were soulmates. I was 26 at the time, and I preferred to be with my family while having my first baby, and I had no interest in getting back together with him. He didn't like my answer, so I had my baby with no support at all from him. I didn't mind because I had a lot of support from my friends and family. My beautiful daughter was 3 months old before he knew she was born, then visited equipped with a DNA test to see if she was his. He had never seen her. I'm a Black woman. My daughter was born looking white with blonde hair and gray eyes. After doing the test, he told me that he didn't need to see her again. I could just leave her at home and come visit him alone. When I refused, he left the country. My daughter would see him only 2 other times in her life until she turned 19. Once when she was 3, he stayed less than 24 hours because I wouldn't sleep with him, and when she was 12, we visited the U.S. Our trip was planned for a week in Florida. He arrived 2 days late and left 2 days early. They spent 1 day together. Throughout her life, he made no interest in trying to connect with her, just me. When I got married, she was 6. He didn't communicate with her for 3 years. I never stopped him from talking to her. We traveled a lot, and he would tell her that he would come see her and not. He didn't send money or clothes. He told me that he didn't have to because I'm rich, and if he did, all I would do is buy more shoes. My daughter had a great life in spite of his absence. My brothers and father were her dad, my husband became her father, and he couldn't love her more. She calls him daddy, her choice. She went to the best schools and excelled in her studies, so much so that she won a national scholarship. However, this scholarship pays for her to study at any school in the Caribbean. Only partial coverage if she studies outside of the Caribbean. As soon as she turned 18, no more mandatory child support, even though he paid none at all, he started messaging her, promising her the world. He promised to pay for her college tuition, give her one of his many apartments, a car, and spending money. He told her that I was a gold digger and he didn't send money for her because I would spend it all, and he didn't visit because I wasn't nice to him. He told her that she was over 18, so now I can't stop her from visiting him. I never stopped her once. So in the middle of studying for the SATs, she left. I felt so betrayed. I told her that she shouldn't go, that it was a bad time. She went anyway. We had a huge arguments before she left. She blamed me for her father not being around, said that I was making it about me and that I was holding her back. If I stopped her, she would never forgive me. She went, they picked a school, made their plans, and upon her return, she scored poorly in the SATs. A few months later, she left my home and moved to the U.S. to her new school with her new family. Before she left, I told her that I couldn't afford to help her. The exchange rate is close to $7 to $1, so it would be difficult for me to pay if her father stopped supporting her. She didn't listen. She had to pay $8,000 in tuition and housing. Her school also gave her a scholarship. Instead of paying it all, as he promised, her father split the payment up into monthly payments, $2,000 per month. He paid the first and second month. By the third month, he refused to pay. He started to complain that I should be paying half. He was very late with the third payment. The last payment is past due, and he suddenly left the country refusing to pay. She has exams and will not get her results. Her enrollment is suspended unless the last payment is made. My daughter is crying and demanding that I make the last payment because her father won't. She has been in the school for 4 months. It's a 4-year program. He has bailout out this soon. I can't afford to pay for her. I also warned her that this would happen. My daughter has been working her butt off. She has a school job and scores in the 90s and high 80s in all her classes. Am I the asshole if I don't pay? Ooh, the scholarship from my country will cover $3,000 of the $8,000 that she has to pay. It just takes about a year for the money to be paid. Relevant comments. Those who don't listen, feel. It really truly sucks that this is her wake-up call. I wish she had just visited him for the summer and experienced him flaking on her when she could pack back and go home. She made adult choices she made, and now she faces consequences. Will her sponsorship still cover her if she tries and transfer back to the Caribbean school? I feel for her, but also, I am not a fan of the way she speaks to you based on what you have written here. She can ask you to cover it, but she knows what the situation is financially and for the family. Why should anyone else do without because she flew to a country on the say-so of a man who wanted nothing to do with her? Not the asshole after reading all your comments, I would say, to not pay. Not only has she not apologized to you, but she's demanding that you pay for her tuition. This is a life lesson. It's also not fair for your family. Do you have more kids? To have cutback because of your selfish daughter. Do not pay for it, even if you can afford it. You need to cut that asshole of a man out of your life. Don't even speak with him again. He's doing this just to manipulate you. He's hurting your daughter just to hurt you. Think about that. You need to tell your daughter that this is what she can expect from her father for the rest of her life. If she wants to come back and have your support, then she can. But if she's going to reject you and your love for that of her scumbag father, then she needs to figure her own life out and how to deal with his manipulation because you won't come near him or anything to do with him with a 50-mile long pole. The truth is that I can afford it. It just means no trips for the family and major cutbacks in our current lifestyle. I just know that if I pay this, I will end up paying for all of it. Just like when she had to put braces for her teeth. It costs close to $30,000 he promised to pay. He sent her $900. I paid for it. I don't think you should pay for it. She must learn in a safe environment that actions have consequences. She can return and finish college at your country, right? So, it's not a choice of either she gets a college degree or not, but in which university will she study? She chose poorly without thinking straight to go to the US. Just leave your door open for her to return. But know that if you pay her now, she won't learn anything. Not the asshole. Honestly, I wouldn't pay for her American degree though. Like you said, she isn't even a year in. I would tell her that if she moves back to your country and attends a university that isn't going to kill you with the transition rate dollar-wise like you had planned for her, then you will. I would also ask for an apology for the fact that she was so easily willing to abandon you after you lovingly raised her and easily believed the man who mistreated you and was not there for her. Make it clear that she needs to earn your trust back and she is the one who messed up here, not you. I would also ask for an apology. Nope. OP may well deserve an apology, but if Go's demanding it, she's burning goodwill for no reason. She's distressed in a foreign country. Baby, I love you, but this is all I can possibly afford. I'm sorry that your father bailed on you like he did to me. She needs to work it out on her own. If you do not have the money to pay for her college, then it doesn't matter. You are not capable of it. If you do have the money to pay, then you need to consider the costs and the benefits. What savings things you can sell? Loans portion of your family's income are you committing for this purchase? What is your daughter getting out of it if you do pay for her? And what would she learn if you don't bail her out? Your daughter could take a loan. She can try to get more scholarships. She has options to get some money. I don't think you should bail her out, but that is something for you and your family to decide. What hurts me is that all this is unnecessary. She could have been studying in Jamaica or Barbados for free. Excellent universities. With that, she would have been closer, and I could pay for her to travel anywhere she wants to go on the breaks. Am I the asshole for not letting my brother's pregnant girlfriend use my bathroom? I know the title sounds horrible. Please try to hear me out. Some backstory. So I, 24F, live in an area where it's impossible to find apartments, rentals, and when you do find them, the rent is usually over $1,500. I also have 2 big dogs and a cat. So renting is basically impossible for me. My parents have a house, my childhood home, in this area, but they currently live in another city about 4 hours away for work. So for those reasons, I live in my childhood home. My parents and I are besties, and this whole arrangement works great for all of us. They need someone to watch over the house, and I need somewhere to live. It's the perfect solution. They come visit me about once a month. My brother, 23, was working in another state on a contract, so his job paid for him to live in a hotel. When his contract ended, he didn't line another one up or find any other work to do. Also, despite making great money and not having to pay for housing, he didn't save any money from this last job he had. So he moved home with me and he brought his girlfriend, 22, and their dog. They were supposed to be here for a couple weeks max, while he found another contract, most likely in a different state. They've been here for 2 months now. They got a cat who they're hiding from my parents. They don't have jobs. They borrow money from my parents for everything. They sleep all day and leave the house trashed all the time. And a couple weeks ago, we found out that she's pregnant. Mine and my brother's bedrooms are right across from each other's, and we used to share a bathroom. When I found out they were coming here, I moved all of my toiletries upstairs to the guest room bathroom, so I wouldn't have to share with them. I always hated sharing a bathroom with him. My parents knew about this and were okay with me taking over the guest room bathroom. Well, a few weeks ago, before knowing she was pregnant, they went out for her birthday with my parents, and she got drunk enough that my mom had to put her in the guest room bathroom bathtub to clean up after puking on herself. Ever since she found out about the bathtub in my bathroom, she is constantly asking to use it. Their bathroom only has a shower. She will usually text me when I'm at work to ask, and I never know what to say because I don't want her to use it, but I feel like an asshole for not wanting to share. I know that it's stupid and probably makes me sound so spoiled, but I just want my own bathroom all to myself. Is that too much to ask? They have taken over the entire house, including what used to be my bathroom. I just want this one space untouched by them. Most of the time when she asks and I don't respond, she will just use my bathroom anyways. I assume my brother tells her to because it's not technically my bathroom anyways. Today I came home from work and rushed to my bathroom to pee, and I found her asleep in the bathtub. She had texted me earlier, but I didn't respond. I didn't react other than telling my brother she was asleep so he could make sure she was okay. But would I be the asshole if I told them not to use this bathroom anymore? I talked to my parents about it, and they are okay with me doing that. If she wasn't pregnant, I wouldn't even hesitate to tell them not to use it. My sister thinks I'm an asshole because she said her baths were a lifesaver in her first trimester. And I don't hate my brother's girlfriend. I like her and want to have a good relationship with her. But I also don't want to be sharing my bathroom and all my good products with her. Am I a horrible person for that? I would even give her some of my good products. I'm hairstylist, so I have lots. If that would help her enjoy her own bathroom more. Hell, I would tear apart their bathroom, redo it, and add the nicest bathtub available for her if I could. I just want my bathroom to myself. Am I the asshole? P.S. I know the obvious solution here is to trade bathrooms with them. Unfortunately, that won't work because my mom doesn't want my brother destroying her guest room. LOL. He's a nuisance. Relevant comments. Unfortunately, this is 100% a problem that your parents have created and one they have to solve. They've got 2 adult children, one with 2 big dogs and a cat, one with a girlfriend and a cat, living rent-free in their home, causing wear and tear and squabbling about who gets which bathroom. Now we're going to add a baby to the mix, which they will also be paying for, it seems. Sad. I wouldn't bet on your brother getting a job or moving out anytime soon. Why should he? As long as mommy and daddy continue to enable him, he's going to continue to shirk responsibility and act like a child. Your parents are going to have to sell that house to get rid of him. Hate to say this, but her using your bathroom isn't the biggest problem. Your brother lived rent-free, made good money, and didn't save a dime or line up another job? Good luck ever getting them out of there. Oh, trust me, I know. I'm currently choosing to focus on the problems I might be able to control, LOL. Unfortunately, there's a 99% chance you are going to be sharing that bathroom when the baby gets here, because they'll need the tub to give the baby a bath. They'll only be able to use the kitchen sink a short period before baby outgrows the sink. And to be honest, sharing the bathroom is a very, very small problem in comparison to the issues coming in a few months when the baby arrives. Good luck, OP. Y'all both need to move out and your parents sell the house. The only reason is this will very likely to cause a major rift as you or your brother will feel the other one. If you parents are away that much, they could sell it and share the money between you two. The bathroom thing is just the tip of the argument, and it will only get bigger. You and your brother both sound spoiled. You're living rent-free in your parents' spare house, and you feel entitled to everything in it. Your parents don't actually need someone to house sit when it could be earning rent revenue. Whatever, it's your parents' decision, but you and your brother should have equal rights. And that was the last story of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider to subscribe and leave a like. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.